Hello fellow Deceptimons and Youtubers, how's it going? As you can see, we went to the Burning Shadows pre-release. So in this video I'm just going to talk about the tournament, how it went, show you the pulls that I got, some notable cards, and yeah, I'll show you the deck that I played. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. And first thing I'm going to show is the pre-release promo I got. So I got the Perfect Form Zygarde, basically, but it's not. It's just the Zygarde card. Has a Lens Crush for 80 damage for 3 colorless. And then you have Core Enforcer for a Dark, a Fairy, and 2 colorless for 150. Discard a Dark and a Fairy Energy. This would be good, but I mean, we're losing Double Dragon, so I don't know how good this card will even be after Double Dragon's gone from the format. But I thought that was the coolest pre-release, so I was glad I got that one. Next, I got some of the new supporter cards. So we got Olivia. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon GX, reveal them, and put them into your hand. So this is going to be pretty good. I mean, now we have something to search out for GXs, so that will make decks a lot faster. And then we got Kiawe. Search your deck for up to 4 Fire Energy and attach them to one of your Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck and your turn ends. I mean, this is good for like turn 1. If you did this, then you could set up your Pokemon real fast, like before your opponent has a chance. But I think there's other cards that you could use, but I think maybe people will actually be playing this card. Plus, Kiawe is my favorite of the Island Captain, or Trial Captains. It's pretty awesome. Plus, and the anime is awesome too. Then we got Lana. Heal 50 damage from each of your Pokemon that has any water energy. So I think this is going to be pretty good for water decks. Especially since Rough Seas is going to be going out of rotation. So I think people will probably start putting this card in there. Just to be able to heal off 50 damage from all your water Pokemon. And then I did pull a reverse Olivia, so that was pretty cool too. I was going to play it, but I decided not to pull, or not to use it. Then, I mean, this isn't super cool, but I like Lycanroc, so that was pretty cool to get this reverse of the Midday Lycanroc. Okay, so there's that. Notable cards. I like that there's the new Wimpod, and now instead of the attack, I think the attack on the Guardians Rising one was called Wimp Out, but now it's an ability. So now if you start with Wimpod, you could retreat into another Pokemon instead of having to put it and all the cards attached into your deck and shuffling it. Now you could just you could play it. Let's say that you're playing let me see. Yeah, here's a Charmander. Say you got Charmander right here. Then your first turn you could use its ability, retreat, and put Charmander. In case you're trying to power this up to use the new Golisopod GX. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool. Definitely really awesome. Might end up using that. I pulled one holo in the pre-release, which is Dusknoir. Its ability, Dark Invitation. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may have your opponent reveal their hand. Put a basic Pokemon you find there into your opponent's bench. Put 3 damage counters on it. So it's kind of like a Target Whistle. Or no, target whistle was from their discard pile to their bench. But this is kind of like it, except it's from their hand. So, I mean, if your opponent, like, let's say you're playing Zoroark or Raichu, the Circle one, and they're purposely not putting down basics so that you don't increase your damage output, this could force them to do it. So I think maybe people might start playing this, but since it's a stage 2, I'm not really sure how often people actually even use this card. But I just think that maybe somebody could make it work and it would be pretty good. So yeah, I got one holo. And I ended up pulling something good, and it was one of the cards that I actually wanted to pull going into the pre-release. So I'm kind of happy about that. It is the Marshadow GX Full Art. So I just like this card because of the color contrast, plus Marshadow is like the new legendary that's going to be released and part of the new movie. Plus, he's like a ghost. He's like a ghost. So, I love ghost Pokemon, so this is pretty awesome. And that's fighting type, too. That's pretty crazy. Its ability, Shadow Hunt. This Pokemon could use the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile. You still need the necessary energy to use each attack. So, I mean, I could see this going into, like, Darkrai decks. Because, I mean, you could use it. You could use, like, the Dark Pulse with, you have, like, 2 dark energies on here. You could use Dark Pulse. You could use the new Darkrai GX's attacks. Or you could basically use any other basic Pokemon that you just want to throw in there. Plus, it'll just give you a variety with it being a different type than most of your deck. But it could still work using any energies. And then its attacks are Beatdown for 3 energies. So it's 2 fighting and a colorless for 120. And then for 1 fighting, you got Peerless, 100 Blows GX. Which is pretty weird that they would use, like, that kind of font. It says this attack does 50 damage times the number of basic energy attached to this Pokemon. So, I mean, if you load this up, you could do a lot of damage. This is kind of like, the Lurantis of fighting decks. I mean, just load this up with fighting energies. You can do 50 times the number of fighting energies you have attached to it. Imagine you put, like, strong energy on here, too. Like, it would be added to that. So that's pretty crazy. So, yeah, those were my best pulls. I'd show you, like, the other cards, but I don't think that you really want to go through and see, like, all the different cards that I pulled. So I'm just going to go to the deck now. I ran 13 energies, 11 of them being grass and 2 of them being fire. I just threw it in there because I ran, well, let me just show you. Alright, hold on one moment. I'll just take a little quick cut. I'm going to organize it to Pokemon and supporter cards. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back now. I'm sorry about that, guys. I just put it back after I finished with the tournament. And then we had to give back the energy, so I had to, like, go through and sift out all the energy cards. But yeah, so my main star of this deck was Oddish. So I played 3 Oddish, 2 Glooms, and 2 Vileplumes. And I'll go over what they do. So Oddish does Poison Powder for 1 grass energy. Your opponent's Pokemon is now poisoned. So that's good for starting off you poison them. Gloom has Stinky Scent. For 1 grass, your opponent's Pokemon is now confused. So, first turn you could poison them, second turn you can confuse them, and you'd basically get compound damage there. Then, for a colorless and a grass, you got Razor Leaf, but I only used Razor Leaf like 1 time, but Vileplume was where it was at. This might actually be a good card, but, who knows? It's because it's, ability, Disgusting Pollen. It's as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent, sorry about that, your opponent's basic Pokemon can't attack. So basic GXs can't touch it. But since Force of Giant Plants is going out of rotation, or it's getting banned, I don't know how feasible this card is. Its attack, Down Shock for 2 grass and a colorless, 60 damage. If heads, your opponent's Pokemon is now asleep. If tails, it's confused. So, I mean, this is pretty much my star because some people were, like, just using basics. They didn't run evolutions. Other people did run evolutions. Actually, lost my first game. I played against somebody using, like, Rhydon and Solrock and some other stuff. But I won my final 2, and it was mostly because Vileplume was pretty good. I stopped OGX with this. I don't know how, but it was real close. So that was pretty awesome. Next, I ran a 2-1 of Alolan Rattata and Alolan Raticate. Alolan Rattata for no energy. It's a free attack. Focus energy. During your next turn, Bite does 60 damage. But if you want to use it without that, it's 1 dark energy for 10 damage. But that wasn't the star of that. What was good was Alolan Raticate, which looks pretty crazy. Its Enhanced Fang does 10 plus. This Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached to it. It does 50 more damage. So, like, 60 damage for no energies was pretty good. I ran the weakness, yeah, I'll show you later on, but I ran weakness policy just so I could run a tool. Plus, to help Vileplume in case I fought a fire deck. But, I didn't really fight anyone. The person who was playing the Ho-Oh GX didn't have other fire Pokemon, so I didn't have to use that. Then Hyper Fang for 1 energy, 1 dark energy, 60 damage, but if it's tails, does nothing. But, I mean, mostly used the Enhanced Fang because it was free. And in pre-releases, there's no tool removing cards, so I mean, yeah, it can really take your tool off. Then I ran 2 Heatmores, which is why I ran 2 fire energies, but I didn't really ever play it. Its first attack is Odor Soothe for a double colorless, and it's flip 2 coins. For each heads, put a card from your discard pile into your hand. And then Searing Flame for 1 fire and 2 double colorless for 60 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. I was thinking about using the second attack, but I never really set this up. I was mostly using the Vileplume and the Raticate, so I just threw it in there to have some more basics. Next, I played a 2-1 line of Hoot Hoot and Noctowl. Hoot Hoot for 1 colorless, see-through, reveal your opponent's hand. For $2 colorless, you get Peck for 20. I didn't really use it for this card. Noctowl had Hypnoblast for 30. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep, which that came in handy. I actually, basically stalled, or no, I used this to take out my, I used this to stall against my opponent who was playing Ho-Oh. I kept hypnoblasting him, and because didn't really have any retreat cards, and you can't retreat when you're asleep, I had him, like, until I could set up my Vileplume, which was pretty good. And then, Night Raid, 70 damage for 3 double colorless. Your opponent reveals their hand, discard a Pokemon from it. I never really use it, I just used the Hypnoblast, at least in my matches. But I did think about using the Night Raid, but I didn't. So that was all the Pokemon I ran. I ran 1 Timer Ball, which came in my pre-release kit. I played 2 Weakness Policy. This was reprinted in this set. It's basically the same as the old one. The Pokemon that this card is attached to has no weakness. So that was pretty good, especially for the Raticate. Played 2 Nest Balls that came in my pre-release kit. Pulled 1 Super Scoop Up Reverse, and this actually came in handy. When I was playing the Ho-Oh one, Ho-Oh's first attack, I believe, does 50 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon, and he was like targeting my Vileplume, which I got like turn 3, because I started with Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume. And so he was attacking it, and he had gotten it to 100 damage, and I super scooped it up and was able to keep stalling him with the Hypnoblast until I finally knocked out my Noctowl, but then I knocked him out with the Vileplume. So that was pretty good. New card, Tormenting Spray. It's choose a random card from your opponent's hand. If that card is a supporter card, discard it. I actually used this 1 time in the final match. I was able to get his Professor Sycamore, and that was like his only supporter card, and I threw it. I was able to get into the discard pile and eventually had a scoop. Supporter cards, I had 2 Hows, which came in my kit, and 2 Professor Kukuis. And then I only had 1 stadium which I pulled, which is Potown. It's whenever any player plays a Pokemon from their hand to evolve one of their Pokemon, put 3 bench counters onto that Pokemon. I lost the first game because basically running Vileplume, you have to put 60 damage to get it all the way to the final stage. So that kind of killed it. But I was able to get my opponent in the last game with this card, because he had to basically run evolution cards to attack the Vileplume card. So I eventually had him. Oh, weird story. In my pre-release kit, I could swear I think I got 5 packs out of my box. I don't know if that was like a common error, but it was pretty insane. Like, I ended up getting 5 packs out of it. So, like, that was really crazy. Out of the deck, I probably could have made it better, because I actually pulled another Raticate. Or no, I got it in my pre-release kit. Another Raticate, and then I pulled 2 more Rattatas, so I could have actually played more. If I would have changed anything, I probably would have added 1 more Raticate just because of the Enhanced Fang. It was pretty good. Plus, with Weakness Policy, fighting Pokemon can't damage it. Plus, you're resistant to Psychic, so, I mean, it's pretty good. If I would have got... I mean, I almost thought about running Seviper in the pre-release deck because of his ability, More Poison. put one more damage counter on your opponent's poison Pokemon between turns. So that could have, like, helped it out a little bit, but I just didn't want to use the bench space up, but I probably could have done it. So yeah, that was it. I went 2-1, so I think it was pretty good. I went to a new place because the other store that I went to got closed down. But I mean, I liked it. It was pretty cool. A lot of the people that went to the other place that I went to also went here. So it was pretty cool seeing other familiar faces there. The only thing that I would say that I didn't like was how they awarded, like, the prize packs at the end. Like most places, they'll reward you for doing better. And this one, they just decided to, like, randomly pick names out of a hat because there was only 24 people, which was, like, the max. And they had 18 packs, so then they gave out 18 packs to 18 of the 24, which I managed to win, so yeah. There'll be packs coming in the next video. But yeah, overall, I had a great time. I'll probably go to that store for future pre-releases. But yeah, so happy that I got this. Somebody did pull a Rainbow Rare Charizard, which was pretty crazy. I saw some other Rainbow Rares. Person next to me had a Gardevoir Rainbow Rare, and then I think somebody got a secret rare, the Dumbbells, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, enough about me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Look forward to the Birding Shadows packs coming soon. And as always, this is Gengar Prime. Till next time.